Since I deconverted from Christianity about 7 years ago, I've had some nagging questions that I can't really wrap my head around. So today I'm hoping that there will be some Christians that will answer these questions for me honestly in a way that makes sense. So this will not be confrontational. I'm not going to be ugly about it. I promise these are real questions that I have. These are not got you questions. Hi, I'm Laurentia. If you don't know me, I was in the church for decades before I got out, and now I am a skeptic, a doubter, a non-believer. Some of you might call me an atheist, although I don't quite identify it as that way. So welcome to Sin City, and welcome to the Doubter's Diary. If you have not liked and subscribed, please do that. Help me bring these videos to a wider audience. That's the only way that we can do that and that I can continue. Thanks. So let's just get into it. Question 1. Is God, the God of the Bible, the sole creator of every living thing on earth? Now, this should be a very simple yes or no question, right? So let's just say that the answer is yes. God is the sole creator of every living thing. Aren't other beings that can create other living things, only God. So the answer is yes. So if that's the case, I guess my problem with that is that means that this loving God, the one who created this perfect earth for us, also created extremely deadly bacteria and viruses that haunt innocent animals and people every single day and have just caused enormous amounts of suffering. Now, I'm just going to list a few of these. I'm probably going to butcher them, so I'm going to put these up on the screen so that you can read these for yourself. So here we go. The first one is the Yersinia pestis. This is the bacteria responsible for the Black Plague that killed 50% of the European population in the 14th century. Let's make a little note here. The Christian European population, because they were all Christians in the 14th century. Worldwide, it killed up to 200 million people. The rabies virus. This virus affects mostly innocent animals, but before we had an effective vaccine, it killed many humans in the worst way possible. But even today, an estimated 59,000 people die of the virus each year, and the animal toll is probably 100 times worse. Now, this one I'm really going to butcher, but the Clostridium botulinum bacteria, this produces the toxin botulism, which kills thousands yearly. But at least we get Botox out of the deal. So maybe God is okay with this one so it can make his televangelists look really smooth on TV. And of course, the Ebola virus, which we had a little scare in America a few years ago. And it's one of the worst viruses in the world. Thousands of people die every year because of this disease. So the list could go on and on. This is just, I mean, we're talking the common cold to the flu to, you can just go on and on with the viruses and deadly bacteria that somebody created. And if God is the only creator, then it would have to be God. Now, I know what a Christian will say. This is what I was taught. Well, these bad things happen because of the fall, because of the original sin of Adam and Eve. And when God told Adam and Eve what would happen to them when they ate out of the tree that they weren't supposed to, it was just basically that they were going to be mortal creatures, not immortal, mortal. I don't believe it says anything that he's going to create new bacteria, new viruses, things to just come onto this world and create havoc and destruction. So that's just an interesting thought. Where did these come from? Now, if the answer is no, God is not the only creator, that somebody else created these horrible things that do untold damage even to innocent animals, children, then who? Is it Satan? We know it's not humans. Humans can't create bacteria. We can make them stronger. We can evolve them. We can take bacteria and viruses that were already out in nature that somebody created, and we can change these, we can evolve them, but we can't just take bacteria and create them ourselves yet. So who's the creator of all this, and why? Question number 2, and this always sort of bugged me when I was a Christian, but now it really bothers me. And that question is, why did Jesus have to die? And I guess the bigger question overall is, why does God demand bloodshed to forgive people, all the way back from when he ordered sacrifices of innocent animals, actually the most healthiest animals, the best animals. He liked to smell their burning flesh. And apparently, even his own son, he wanted that sacrifice. Why? Why? Now, God's mysterious. I realize that. But couldn't God just forgive us? Or couldn't we just say sorry? Couldn't he place it upon our hearts just to say, I'm sorry? Now, I know that when I was a Christian, I heard pastors and other Christians say, well, God needs us to sacrifice something to show that, that we're for real. But, not other human beings, not innocent animals. Couldn't we just sacrifice some money or something like that? I don't understand that. So explain to me why the sacrifices always have to include violence and bloodshed. Question number 3. Why do we not demand that God uphold his own moral standard? Why do we give him a free pass? When humans commit genocide, we know that it's immoral and an outrage. We don't allow, we consider slavery, we consider that one of the most immoral things that you can do. We've tried to wipe it out. Decent human beings have tried to wipe slavery off the map because we know it's not moral to make another person work for you for free forever under your conditions. We know that killing young girls who we suspect aren't virgins by taking them out and throwing rocks at them till they're unalived is completely immoral. And a person who did that might have the death penalty themselves, at the very least be in jail forever, because we know that they're a menace to society. So why, when God says to do these things, and he does, and if you don't believe me, I can show you verses in the Bible. So maybe I will go ahead and link them in the description, because so many times Christians will go, that slavery was completely different in the Bible. No, it wasn't. It just happened to be different ideas about what you could do with a Hebrew slave versus a foreign slave. Foreign slavery at that time was just like chattel slavery that we had in America. Anyway, I digress. Why is it that humans are held to one objective moral standard and God is not held to his same objective moral standard that we are? Isn't that what Christians say we get our objective morality from, is God? Then why don't we hold him to the same standard? Question number 4. Why does God leave puny human beings who we are apparently evilly, just horribly evil? We're not very smart. We can't understand God. He's mysterious. We can't understand his ways. So why does he make us do his bidding? Why do we have to defend God and what he wants? Why is that? Why did he leave us here alone? And you say, well, he's given us the Holy Spirit to help out. Well, that Holy Spirit seems to be pretty damn weak, if you ask me, because I've never seen the Holy Spirit solve any problems that a human being couldn't do on their own. So I don't know. In fact, I've seen people that are not Christian believers, Gandhi, right? And other heroes like that have made a lot more change than any Christians have. So I don't know. Answer that question. I would really appreciate. That's one that really, really bothers me. Why do we have to do his bidding? And last but not least, question number 5 is, why did God give the earth over to Satan, his biggest creation, the thing that he seems to be the most proud of? In the garden, he just went in the Garden of Eden. he made the most beautiful creation, perfect creation. And then he decides just to hand it over to Satan. Does Batman hand Gotham City over to the Riddler and just says, here you go. Why don't you wreak havoc for years, decades, centuries, millennia? Why don't you wreak havoc and then I'll come back and fix it after total death and destruction has happened? Why? Why is that human minds can understand that even Batman doesn't turn the city over to the Riddler? Then why would God turn it over to Satan? Why is that? That might be one of the biggest questions. No matter how that's ever explained to me, it's never made any sense. Well, to show his glory, to show that, Satan can wreak havoc with human beings and then God can swoop in at some point and just show his glory. Does that make any sense? Isn't creation glorious enough? If I found out that there was an individual, a being that created all this amazing earth and the universe, that shows his glory. I don't need it to be destroyed. I don't need to see despair and suffering and evil go on in the world so that then he can swoop in and say, oh, look at me, man, I'm something. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right, so that's the end. That's all I have today. Please, let's keep the comments civil if we can. I was happily surprised that the last few videos I haven't been called too many names. I had someone call me adult the other day, and I had laughed at it. I hadn't heard that in a long time, and I think that might mean stupid and ugly and like dumb all rolled into one. I don't know, but anyway, let's keep it civil. Thank you so much for showing up, for listening to me, and I am looking forward to hear what you say in the comments. Thanks.